people can hear us, click these two buttons. Switch over to talking. I guess I should probably fix my light over here so I'm a little better lit. Okay. Then you asked about the eclipse before we started streaming, and I realized that would be a good topic to open stream with. But I didn't care too much about the eclipse. I wasn't planning on seeing it. Sarah wanted to though, but we didn't pay attention to like the time that it was going to happen, so we just went to Costco right before, and we didn't have our glasses that Sarah had grabbed. But as we were leaving, we asked one of the managers at Costco if they had any they could borrow, and they nicely let us have a pair of glasses, a couple of them, so we could see the eclipse. Mm-hmm. They said it was for employees only. That was extra nice of them to do that. But yeah, so we sat in the parking lot, and then it got dark, and then it was actually in the halfway started when we walked out, which we couldn't tell until we put the glasses on to be able to actually look at the sun briefly, and then then it just got darker, and then the moon got in front of the sun, and then once you couldn't see it with the glasses on anymore, you could take the glasses off. So, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, what did you do anything for the eclipse?
Yeah, everybody inbound and outbound went on break at 3, and they handed out glasses so we could watch.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, just when we went out, it was still fairly bright out, and got the glasses on. I was like, oh wow, you know, that's a lot more covered than I thought it was going to be at this point. But I hadn't really thought about, just because of how bright it still was out. But yeah, then we got to see the totality. That was cool. I thought it was interesting. I liked it.
It's definitely an interesting experience. Pretty neat to see the sun be covered and like how dark it gets and stuff. I've seen videos about it, so seeing it in person for me isn't like super, I don't know, life-changing feels a little bit exaggeratory, but like it's just I felt mad about it, but I don't know. Everyone thinks I'm weird for not being like a tourist personality and being like, oh no, the Grand Canyon, ooh, it's there, it exists. Not that I've ever been there, but just that sort of thing. Like I wouldn't care to see this sort of thing in person. But I don't know. Final thoughts on that one?
Nope.
All right. Anything else you've been up to exciting since last Thursday?
Nope. I did have 2 decent nights sleep in a row.
Nice. Sleep is important. Gotta get that sleep, I say, as an insomniac. Although I have been sleeping a little better.
I mean, I woke up and felt rested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not something I always feel rested when I wake up. It helps to not have an alarm, but the fact that I don't have an alarm is because employment is difficult to find, but at least in the field I'm looking for. Software development.
Well, and yesterday and today, I woke up just before my alarm clock, so that's usually a plus when it's right before.
Yeah, there have been some times where I've like woken up right before my alarm clock, and it's always better to do that than to wake up with the alarm clock. I always feel extra tired with the alarm clock for some reason. And I think it might just be some like psychological thing with the alarm. I'm not sure. But,
that tells you you're interrupting your sleep.
I mean, there's that too. I don't know. There was a while when I was working on my sleep schedule again, where I wasn't using an alarm, and I'd wake up fairly early because my sleep schedule just decided that that's what it was going to be, and then I would use an alarm to wake up later than that would. Then I was regularly waking up, and then my alarm would go off, and then I would just be extra tired.
Uh-huh.
Bodies are weird. Yeah. All right. Anything else before we hop over to Sudoku?
No.
All right. Then we'd solved all of our puzzles last time, so we get to start a new one. Start recording. All right. So this is Cracking the Easter Eggs by Olima.
We did finish the last one we were working on last time?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Whichever puzzle it was, we didn't have one in progress. I was scrambling to get everything set up last minute.
Oh yeah, because it was like 10:10 or something, 10:15.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah. Anyway, Cracking the Easter Eggs by Olima. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits a king's move in chess apart must be different. Adjacent digits on a green line differ by at least 5. Blue lines have the same sum in each box they visit. Black dots are a 1-to-2 ratio, and white dots are consecutive. Not all dots are necessarily given.
Pretty straightforward.
Yep. All right. There's a single cell here for our blue line on the right egg. And I might as well go ahead and fill in the options here for our black crocky dot. Other than that, I have a 5 on a one of these lines, German Whisper line. I guess I could highlight German Whisper line. Orange and purple. Where to start? I mean, I'd be fairly surprised if this wasn't a high digit here. But other than that, feels like it's anti-king. Well, I mean, that's not even that restrictive
no,
here.
it's anti-knight.
Anti-king.
Okay. Oh, anti-king. Okay.
Yeah.
Anti-knight would have been better.
Yeah.
Because anti-knight would have prevented that blue and green intersection from being a 6.
It would prevent this from being a 6?
Yeah, because then it would have to be a 1-2 pair.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have to be 1. And anti-knight would have prevented either one from being a 1. But since it's anti-king...
Yeah. And you can still have 6, 1, 2, 1, and a 9 here.
Right.
if this was a 6, you've got 1, 2, 3 here. But that's, I mean, it just means this isn't a 6. Okay, well, this is a 3-cell line, and this is a 3-cell line. And this one also doesn't have 5 on it. And we know that these two are the same. At least polarity speaking. So
right.
This couldn't be a 6. Because if it was, then this would have to be a 6.
And that would have to be a 6.
I mean, this can still be a 6, a 1, and then you've got 9s, and you can have 2, 3, 4. And it's like, because these are the same, that's fine. But this can't be 6 anymore, because this set of 3 sees this digit. And you can't have a 7 here for a similar reason. Because 7 has to be 1, 2, 4, but then those 3 would have to be 1, 2, 4, and then you've got 4 from 1, 2, 4 there. 8 has 2 possibilities, and 9 has 3. If this was an 8, you couldn't have a 6 here. So this would be low, this would be high, this would be low, this would be high. And they would both be high digits, but the only high digit you can place on here is a 6, which must pair with a 1, 2. So this cannot be an 8, because this would end up being a low digit, and forcing that to be high. So this is 9, and this is not. Now, we're not forced to have... But either this is a 6, or this is 2, 3, 4. Because these are both high digits, and you've got 6 and 1, 2. Or this is a 1, and this is a 6 with a 1, 2 pair, and then this is a low digit. But because it's 1, you would have to have 1, 2, 4. So you can't have 5 or 6 over here. And this can't be a 1. And this is not a 2 in either instance. This can't... Yeah, it could. It could be a 7. Because you just have the 1, 2 here.
Right.
But this would be a 6 if this is the 7. And 1, 2... A 6 would have a 1, 2 here, and then you'd have 3 digits with 1, 2. So this isn't a 7. And if it's an 8, you've got 2, 3 as your pair. Or 1, 2, 3. But again, this is 1 or 2. This is 3. This ends up being 2. And if this is a high digit, if it's a low digit, it's a 3. And this would be a low digit, which means it's not a 3. And it couldn't be a 4. If it's a high digit, it can't be 6. It could be 7, 8, or 9, I think. But this can't be a 6 followed by a 1. That's not a 6. This is a low digit. This is a low digit. This is a 6. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 2. This is a 1. This is not a 2. And now this isn't a 7. Can't be 2, 3, 4, so one of these has to be a 1. You can't have a 4 in the group. Okay, well, if these are low digits, they're 3 and 4. This can't be a 4. And that can't be a 4, so they're high digits. And this one isn't a 9, and neither of them 6. And this is 3 or 4. It's going to have to be an
8 on top because of the 1, 2.
Yep. And
9 on the bottom.
Here. Not 1 or 3. And I guess I can remove the coloring now, because I know where my high digits are. 9 and 6. And my low digits. 2, 1. That cannot be a 4, so it's a 3. And this cannot be a 4, so it's a 2. And this can't be a 2 because the king removes a 1. 7 goes away from where?
Between the 2 and 3.
Right, because 3 removes it. And the 3 removes the 6 and the 7 here, so that's an 8. This is no longer a 4. This is not an 8. That can be either. This cannot be a 6. And this could be a 4. Okay. 4, 2, 3. And 4 fixes a 9, making this an 8.
Row 5 has 1, 5, 6, 7 left.
1, 5. It's not a 6. It would be 7 and 8.
Oh, yeah. Not 8.
Not 8.
4.
There we go. 1 and 4 is out. 1 is out here. And if these are 4, 5, and 7, and they're paired with one digit, or a digit that's 1 bigger, then these have to be 1 bigger than this one. Because if this is a 4 5, and 6, a 9...
5 or 6. So the top one can't be 7.
This cannot be a 5, because that would make this a 4 and a 6, which are separated by 2, which doesn't work. 8 and 5 is 13, and 4 and 9 is 13. Or 5 and 9 and 8 and 6 are both 14. I don't know if I said that correctly. Hopefully I did. Oh, this sums to 9, which has tons of options, so I don't see a reason to mark them. I don't know if that crop dot's worth marking.
Well, the black Kropke dot, the one on the right, cannot be a 4.
Because that can't be 2 or 8. If this is a 2, that's a 1. If this is a 4, that's an 8. Or they're a 3-6 pattern. Oh, I guess what's left over in this box? 8, 3, 9, 6, 1, and 2 gives me a 4, 5, 7 triple. This is not a 4. One of these is 4, so this isn't, because it sees both of them by anti-king. And there's a 7 in this group, so this can't be. So we've got a 1. This can no longer be a 2, because it can't be 2 and 4. And we know that one of these one of these two is a 5, so it's not this one. And 4, 5, 7 takes a 7 out of here. What's left over in this row? 3, 8, 2, 1, and 4, and this one over here isn't a 9. 5, 6, 7, and 8. I know 6 is one of these two, so this isn't a 6. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not an 8, though. One's off of both of them, 9 and 8 is off of both of them. This isn't a 2, and that's not a 4. This one isn't a 6, because 6 has to be one of these two. So this cannot be a 7. This can't be 2 and 3, because then you wouldn't have a second low digit. Because 1,
Right.
4, and 5 is 10, so you can't put a 2 here. Guess what about this column? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not particularly helpful.
Okay, the blue line in box 9. It can't be 1 and 8 because there's an 8 above it.
One of these has
One
to
of
be
those
8.
two has to be
So
8,
and
yeah.
1, okay. This isn't 3, so
It
this isn't
can't
6.
be 3 and 6 because the 3 would have to go on the left, so it's not in. But then The 6 would have to be on the right, and it sees this 6 there, so it can't be 3, 6.
4, 5. Well, one of these has to be 2 or 4, which is going to pair with this 2 or 4 to mean that this cannot be a 4. Because otherwise, you've got a 2 here and a 5, 7 there, which don't sum to 9. So 4 and 8 are out. 3 and 6, 3 and 4 is out. And just to remember this, 3, 6, 2, 4 out of the rest of that. Now, one of these is 6, this is 5, that's 4, this is 7 and 5. So that's not 5, that's not 5, this is a 7, so those aren't. 6, 9 pair makes that a 7, a 5, an 8, 6, not a 7, not a 5. This is odd, so this must be even, so not a 3. 5 comes out of there, this is a 4, not a 7, 8, 5, and 7. This can't be a 4 because this doesn't have 5 anymore, and this can't be a 2 because this doesn't have 7 anymore.
No.
This has to have 5 or 7.
7 quad.
Or just that, yeah.
Which places a 9 in box 7.
9 here. 1 and 8.
Well, 7 has to be one of those two that goes between box, so the one below it cannot be a 7.
This cannot be 5 and 6. Because this has to be 5 or 6. It can't be 2, 3, 4, right. So it doesn't have 4. So this can't be a 6. It's a 4. This is 7, this is 5, that's 2, that's 4, that's 9. That could be anything. 4 and 5 out of both of those, 5 out of there. That means this is a 4 because 3, 7, 8 triple. And not a 2. Alright, what about this? 2, 3, 6, and what, 9 is missing?
Okay, and in box 3, cell 4 cannot be a 6 because it would have to pair with 1, 2, and it's not a 1, 2.
This cannot be 1, 3, 5 anymore, because this has to be 3 or 5.
Right.
So, this has to be a 6, a 2, a 1, 2 and a 6. And I guess this column, 1, 7, 9, 6, and 2. Up here, just not a 4. And 1, 2, 4, and 6, and not 3 in that column. Six is one of these two, but that doesn't seem important. How about this column? 8, 3, 9, and 4. These two aren't 5. This isn't 1 or 2. This isn't 2, 5, or 6.
Oh, in box 7 between the two 9s, that can't be a 3.
Oh, right, because it's the 3, 6 pair.
Yeah. Kind of piddly, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, something. And with you never know what needs to be removed. What's left over in this row? 8, 9, 4, 6. And then neither of these two are 3. This isn't a 2 or a 7. And I guess this column? 3, 8, 2, 9. 4 and 1 from those cells. Might as well fill in this box. 5, 4, 7, and 9 from the column. 1, 2, and 8 from that row gives us a 3, 6 pair. So you're not a 3, and this isn't 3 or 6. So 1, 2, 8, I believe. 3, 6, and then more digits, yeah. So might as well fill in this column over here. 6, 4, 2, and 3. Neither of them are a 7, and the top one's not a 9. And I guess I might as well finish the rest of the board. 8, 1, and 5, not 9 from anti-king. 2, 4, 4, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 7, 8. 4, 7, 9. 4, 7, 9. Got lots of digits over here. And we've got a 1, 8 pair, 3, 6, 6, 9, 1. Oh, where's 3 in this column? Can't be here because of this 3. Not there because of that 3. 3, 6 pair takes that out. This is a 9. 4 and a 6, so this is a 3. A 9. Not 9, not 3. These aren't 3, and that's not a 9. Got a 3, 6 pair, which takes the 3s out. 8, 7. 8's out. 7, 8. Not 9 either. 1, 2, 6 triples. Gonna play 6, 3, 9, 6. 6 and 9 out of there. 6, 3 here. 9. 4, 5, 7. Triple. And place 9 and 8. 5 and 7. 1, 8. 5, 4, 8, 9, 2. 1, 6, 2, 3, 6. This is a 1, that's a 7. This is 3 or 5. 6, 8, 1, 6, 7, 2, 6, 7. This is a 2. 5, 1, 7, 5, 1, 8. 4, 7, 3, 6, 2, 3, 5, and 4, and we're done. Nice. Day there. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Already muted, so play that. Alright. Let's take a look at the next puzzle. Caged by a Secret Killer by Phoenix Aki. Hopefully that's pronounced correctly. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Cells in cages sum to the total in the top left corner. Cage totals are given as letters whose value must be deduced. Each of the 4 letters has a unique sum, i.e., A can't be the same as C, G, or E. Digits cannot repeat along the positive and negative diagonals. Cells connected by a green line differ by at least 5. Cells connected by a white dot are consecutive. Inequality signs point to the smaller of the 2 digits. Alright. Ready for this one?
Yep.
Right. We've got 3 G's over here, 4 C's, and C is some multiple of 3, which I think means it has to be 9. Yeah. for it to be a multiple of 3, because it's a pair of consecutive digits, then I'm pretty sure that's 9. Because, well, no, it's not a multiple of 3, is it? Okay. Well, its minimum value is 9, because if those were 9, or 36 rather, then you have 9 left over. If it was any smaller, it would not be big enough.
Right.
So you've got a 4-5 pair. But it could be a 5-6 for 11, and that's where I don't know how math works. Yeah. But it has to be one of those. So
right.
we know this is a 5 then. And this is 1 or 9. E is similar. And again, okay. So that takes care of 9 and 11. So what about A and G? Oh, well, these two German whisper lines and this 5 and 6 place a 5 here. End up with 5. One of those two positions. Except, again, German whisper line, a 5 here and a 4 leaves a 5 there. That's not a 5, that is, which is going to place 5 here, I believe, because it can't be on this and it can't be there. And then you've got 5s like so.
Well, if we look at G, with the one with the German whisper in it.
Yeah.
Well, we know it can't be 1 and 6. Because there's a 6.
Yeah.
And it can't. Well, yeah, it could be. No, it can't be 4 and 9. Because it would be 13. 5 and 8 would be fine, but then you're left with 6 and 7, and you can't do that.
Okay, so 4 isn't allowed.
Is out.
I guess the lower digit can still be a 1. It's just the 4 and the 6 are removed.
Yeah.
It can't be 10.
It can't be 1 and 9. Right, it can't be 10.
It's not.
2 and 9 is 11. It can't be 11. 3 and 9 is 12. 5, 7.
Could be 12.
4, 8 would work.
Six and 1 would make 7. You'd put a 2. There's only 3 ways to make 7. And I'd have to use a 4.
Right. Okay. So, the one on the left, the A, if it's 1, it has to go with 7.
Yeah.
Because it can't be 9, because 4, 5 doesn't work.
Right.
And 10 doesn't work. If it's 2, 2 and 7 is 9, does not work. 2 and 8 is 10. If it's 2, it has to be 9. 3 and 8 is 11.
Which is already taken up by C or E.
Right. 3 and 9 is 12.
So these are paired uniquely.
Right. Okay,
wait,
so
you
3
said...
doesn't work.
Because it can't be 3, 7 for 10, 3, 8 for 11, but why not 3, 9?
Well, that would be 12. 5 and 7 is fine, but then what's your third one? Can't
4,
use
8.
4 and 8. There's a 4 at the bottom.
I could do the 4, 8 over here, though. But this one I can't.
Yeah, but that's what I was talking about, the one on the left. The A one.
And then, so 9 doesn't work because 9 and 1 is 10, and 9 and 2...
If it's 1, it has to be 7, and if it's 2, it has to be 9.
No, it can't be 2, 9.
Well, it can't be 2, 8 because that's 5. And 1, 8 doesn't work.
Okay.
I mean, 2 and 8's 10.
Yeah.
It has to be 1, 7. You can't have 1, 8 because then A doesn't have an ability to be 9.
Okay, so this is 8, which makes this 3, and a 2, 6 pair, which is going to go like this, and that's going to make this an 8. And it would be 1 if it's 9, and 3 if it's 11.
Okay, now G.
And since 8 is taken up, 1 and 7 is 8, so that's not allowed. 1 and 8 is 9, which is already taken up, and 1 and 9 is 10, so 1's out. 2 and 7 is 9, 2 and 8 is 10, and 2 and 9 is 11. All 3 of those are already taken up. So this has to be 3, which
Can't be
7 and 8, so this has to be. So this is like so. This is 9, so 4, 6, 3. And then you've either got 2 and 9, or 4 and 7.
The
7,
G with the
4,
5 in it
9.
pairs with a 7.
7.
Which leaves
Places
4, 8
1,
for
7,
the last one.
8, 4, and what's left over?
2.
2. And this is
Pairs
9,
with
so
7.
that's a 7. This is 2, this is 9, this is 7 and 4. 3 and 6.
Or 1 and 8.
3 and 4, 1, 8 pair. And then 1 or 3 and 6 and 8. And that's an 8, a 1, a 6, and a 3. And what's left over? 4, 9, and 1, 8.
8.
Excuse me. 5, 4, 8, 3, and 7. This isn't 1 or 2, so this isn't 6 or 9. That's not a 1, that's not a 2.
The one in the center, box 7, can't be a 6 because it can't pair with, it's got no 1 to pair with.
Oh, right. 6. And you've got a 1, 9 pair, so that's 4. This is 6, that's 1, that's 9, that's 2. And then you've got 8, 9, and 1. And then what's left over in this box? 3, 4, and 7, it looks like. And 3, 6, and 7. And then this is probably to finish up the puzzle. These two are
2 and 8.
And these ones, I don't see a 3 or a 7, which is true. And then the last things, 1, 4, 9, and 6. This one's 9, this one's 1, 4, and 6. And then, I don't know, how about this box? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 1, and 7. And I guess maybe this box is the more important one. 2, 4, 5, 8, 1, 6. And you can't put 7 or 9 there, so that's a 3. A 7, a 9. And you can't put 4, 5, 6, 7, or 9. That's an 8. So that's 2, 8, 9, 2, 8, 1, 3, 7. I don't see a 2. And I don't see a 1. Then, I don't know, how about this one? 719, 362, 8. And it's 5 pair. 384, 759. We've got a 6 here, a 2, and a 1. 8, 4, 7, 1, 9, and 3. 2 here, 5 there, 6, 4, 5. I don't see an 8. I don't see a 4, and I don't see a 9. And that's the puzzle. Got to like it. Alright, next one. Project Africa by The Pedaling Pianist. Normal Sudoku rules apply, i.e. place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row column and 3x3 box. The route, or red line, is a German whisper, i.e. adjacent digits on the line must differ by at least 5. On land, Potter cells contain higher digits, i.e. orange cells contain larger digits than orthogonally adjacent yellow cells, which contain larger digits than orthogonally adjacent green cells. The 4 cages must be filled with 4 important numbers from Russ Cook's Journey, read left to right. The solver must decide which number goes in which cage. 352 days on mission, 19 million steps at least, 16 countries or cells passed through, and a question mark. Total number of 1s and 2s on the route. 1s and 2s is how Russ refers to left footsteps and right footsteps. Interesting. Alright, well, I guess let's go. Okay, well, this one has to be our 352. Both of these are going to start with a 1, and they're either going to be 6 or 9. And then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, where to go from here? Well, one of these two is a low digit, which is either a 1 or it's a 4.
The
now,
one on
this
the right
one
can't be a 4.
Yeah. But the high digit's unrestricted, so I don't know if that's useful.
It just can't be a 6.
Okay, well we know that this one is less than its neighbor. So this has to be a small digit. Three, 1, that's not a 4, that's not a 4, that's not a 4, not a 6, not a 6, not a 6, not a 6. This can't be a 6, this could be a 4. This can't be a 6, because this can't be a 1. And this isn't a 6, and this could be a 4, and that could be a 6. Now this digit has to be larger than this one, which is a 1 or a 2, so that's not. But then that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 here. This is a pair of 9s. So this is 6, that's 9, this is not 9. This is no longer a 4. This is not 9. Ah, and this cannot be a 7, because one of these has to be a 3. 6 or 7, so makes that 1 or 2, which makes this a 3, and this not. This has to be larger than this one, so this isn't a 9. This isn't a 4. This isn't a 3. This has to be larger than that. 7, 8, 9. It's not 8 or 9, so that's a 7. This is a 6. That's a 1. This is an 8. That's a 9. This is not 6, 7, or 9. This is 2. That's 1. This can be, basically whatever it wants to be. This has to be larger than that one. This isn't a 6.
Well, and that's max 6.
Right. Because it was the number of low digits.
Well, the 1s and 2s, I thought.
Right. Minus 3s and 4s. This one's not an 8. And it can't be a 7 either, because if it was a 7, that would be a 1-2 pair. And neither can be a 1. One, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Apparently this is a 5, because it has to be smaller than the 8, but not 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, or 7. 5's out. 1, 2, 3. And this isn't a 1, so that is. Oh, I guess what's left over in this box? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And 6.
This is now max 6. It sees 1, 2, 3, 5. And this must be larger than that. 5, 8, 9. 6, 7 pair makes that a 4, a 2, a 3. And now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Depending on whether or not this is a 2 or a 3.
Right.
This has to be smaller than that. Not a 9. Not 1, 2, 5, 6, or 8. This is max 6, 5. And what's left over in this box? 1, 6, 7, 9. Not particularly helpful is that max 7. 1, 3, and 4 are out. This can't be 3, 4, 7, 8, or 9. If it's max 6, and this must be smaller, 7 and 6 is out. This has to be bigger than the digit it's adjacent to. Two, 3 pair takes out 2, 3 here. 6, 7 makes this a 9. 9, 3, 8, 6, 7, and 4. 1 and 5. 1, 4, 3, 5, and 2. This one, 9. This must be smaller, so it's not 9 or 8. 6, 7 pair makes that an 8. This not, and this can't be 6 or 7, so it's a 9. 2, 5, 6, and 7 is a quadruple. 2, 5, 6, and 7. 4, 3, 1. This one isn't a 9, so that's 8, and that's 9. What's left over here? Not 2, 3, 1, or 9. This one's not an 8. This one's not 8 or 6, and these two aren't 6, and this far left one isn't a 5. Not quite enough to make conclusions with yet. But these 3. 4, 9, 3, 5, and 2. 1, 6, 8. And not really able to make conclusions. 3, 4, 6, and 7. Eight's one of those two. 1 is one of these two. I guess this is 5 digits remaining. 3, 8, 9, and 7. Here's not a 5, that's not a 5, this is 2. Where do we look next? Guess I could fill out the rest of this box. 9. I guess 1's out of everything. This isn't 5, 6, or 8. 2, 6 here, or a 2 there. It's not particularly helpful. Right over here. 1, 8, 9 from the box. 2, 5 from both of those, and 6 from the top. Still not seeing a ton. 1, 6, 8, and 9. And here's not 2 and 3. 4, 5, and 7's a triple, so that's not 4 and 7. This isn't 4, 5, or 7, so we get a 2, 3 pair. One and 6. 1, 9, 2, 3, 8, 9, 2, 3, 5, and 9. But 7 has to be one of these two. So this is an 8. These aren't. And they're also not 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. So 6 has to be one of these two, so this is a 7. Makes that a 7, and this not. And an 8 here. Those aren't 6. That's not 8, so that is 7, 6. 5, 2, 7, 3, 2 or 3, 3, not 2, not 5, not 3 or 5, not 2 or 7, not 3, 2, 1, not 1, not 7, not 6, 7, those two aren't 8, 2 and 3, and this is a 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Makes this a 4. 5, 1 here, 6, 7, 3 here, 2, 6, 5, 3, 4, 6, 3, 2, 5, 9, 4, 7, 8, 4, 7 makes it 3, 4, 1, 7 is out, 1, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 1, 8, 6, 4, and 9, 7, and press the right digits. And I think that's the end of the puzzle here. It sure is. 15 minutes. That was pretty quick. Alright, ready for the next one? Uh-oh. Mama. Mama, where you go? You're still connected. Oh, I heard something.
Okay.
There we are.
Well, I was talking and it's like, wait a minute, I'm not seeing any movement there.
Uh-oh.
It's like, am I muted? No, I'm not muted.
What ended up being the problem?
I don't know. I restarted the sound engine, then I just like, okay, that's not working. We'll just unplug it and replug the headphones, and that seemed to work.
I hope it's not the headset going out.
Yeah, I've had
really
issues with it periodically.
Yeah. Well, I guess I could look into getting you a new one.
Yeah, I can look in getting myself a new one.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like the Razer headset that you have, or do you want to get like a cheaper one?
I don't know. I probably want something lighter. These are kind of
Yeah.
bulky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Depending on the quality of the microphone, we might want to get you another microphone, but I mean, it's not as if I'm like super knowledgeable when it comes to like microphone quality. And I don't know. I've never really had an issue with microphone quality as long as it's not like staticky all the time. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people are much more irritated by it than I am. All right. Anywho, sounds like we're ready for the next puzzle then. Let's hop on over to Assembly by Florian Wertmann. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits in a cage sum to the indicated total. Cells that half appear in a cage only contribute half their value to its sum. Cells that quarter appear in a cage only contribute a quarter of their value to its sum. Digits appear at most once in the same cage. Half appearing twice counts as appearing once. Well, okay.
Clear as mud.
I guess once we hit start puzzle, it'll make more sense, because right now it's blurred in the
Hopefully.
background. Alright, well, let's get started. I'm guessing these are quarter in the puzzle.
Yeah.
And these are only half. And this is a quarter in all of them. I have a feeling this is a 4. Because if it was...
top cage is a 2.
Yeah. So the smallest that this can be is a 1. To still have some value over here. And that's going to force that to be a 4. So a 3, a 5, and a 7.
And a 7.
Okay. And then over here, the smallest values is 7.
Well, the center's going to have to be a 4 or an 8, since it's quartered.
Yeah. Which is either 1 or 2. So 8, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6, and 6, 5.
No, the 6, 7 on the 7.
Right. Oh, okay. Oh my god.
It would be 5, 6. There you go.
I do math tutoring occasionally, every once in a while, you know. Not concerning in any way, shape, or form. Alright, well, these are all halved.
It can't be 8.
Oh, right,
because if
one
that's
of these...
8, the 10 has to be 8, so it has to be 4.
Okay. 4, 9, 8, 6, 7. This is 1, 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay. Alright. And now, over here, these are all half. And they're paired with a whole digit. So they have to be even. And there's only 4 even digits.
Right.
And this one cannot be a 1 to go with 11. And Well, I guess 8 is 4, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, so this is 6, 7, 8, 9.
That 8 would be 4, 5, 6, 7.
7, 8, 9. Oh, and I can take out any even digits. 4, and 2, and 6, and 8. So this ends up being a 5, and then I need 3, which twice of 3 is 6. And then I end up with a 1, 3 pair here.
Alright, well the 5, 1 pairs with 4, which would be 8. 3 pairs with 2, which would be 4, so the 2 goes away.
4, 8 means this is a 2, and a 9, and a 7. 7 pairs with 4, which is 8, and 4, and 3, and 1. Okay. 14. Or maybe 8? Or maybe 6 is the better one to go with. I'm going to say we go with 6. And we've got 4 quartered values. If this was 1, 2, 3, 4, which it couldn't be, but let's just imagine it was. Well, none of them can be 4. So, how about 1 through 5? That would be...
You can't quarter 5.
Well, it would just be 5 with... it would be 1 and 1 quarter. Which the greatest... Or excuse me, 1, 2, 3, and 5 is 11. A quarter of 11 is a fraction. So let's add 1 and make the sum here 12. The smallest sum is 12. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So the largest value that can be placed inside of the 6 is 3. But it can't be a 1 here. So this is either 12 or 16. I don't know what to do with that information. What about this 8? Five, 9. And obviously you can't put an 8 in the 8 cage on the whole digit value.
Right, and you can't have a 7. Because that would require 2 1s. But it's still digits appear at most once in the same cage.
But half appearing twice counts as appearing once.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hmm. $14 3, 4, 7, 8. Okay. Well, the maximum that 4 digits can be is 30. Right?
Right.
And 30 divided by 4 is 7 remainder 2. So if we drop the remainder, the maximum that I can put in these 4 is 7 times 4 for 28. So the minimum that could be inside of the 14 is 7. So this has to be a 9. And so now we know that
Goes to 20.
Right. Nine is out from all of them. 4, 7, and 8. Not a 1, not a 5. 3, 4, and 7. This one's not a 6. Seeing a lot of small values. Let's say I didn't have an 8. 6 and 5 is 11. Or I guess maybe do it a different way. 8 and 6 is 14. 5 is 19. And 1 is 20. And if I didn't have an 8, that would be 6 and 5, which is 11. 3. There's no 4. 6 and 5 and 3 is 14. I would need another 6. So I have to have an 8. If I skipped the 6, 8 and 5 is 13. And a 3 is 16. I would need a 4, which there is no 4. And so 6 is going to be required. Because if I make something smaller, then I have to go larger than 4, which is going to have to be 5, which is already used, or 6, which I already said is not allowed. So 8 and 6 are required. And if I'm using 8 and 6, then that's 14. I need a remainder of 6, which has to be 1 and 5. It can't use a 3 at all. And it can't be 2 and 4 because there's no 4s. So that's 1, 5, 6, and 8. So 1 and 6 is out of here. 2, 3, 4, and 7. And I guess thinking back to this, the minimum is 12. 1, 2, 3, and 6. Except if I couldn't use the 3 again, so the 3 and 6 becomes 4 and 5. But I don't have a 4. So I don't think I can make 12. Because it's either 1, 2, 3, and 6, which, if I'm making 12, that means this has to be a 3, which means I can't use the 3. So the 3 and the 6 goes away, so then it becomes 1, 2, 4, and 5. But no place can be a 4, so the middle digit's a 2, and this is 16. 1, 3, 5, and 6. And that's 15, but I need 16, so the 6 becomes a 7. And 3, 7, and a 1, 5 pair. 1, 5, 2, 3, and 7. And the top isn't an 8. Does that seem correct, Mom?
I think so.
Okay, and what's left over across the middle row here? 1, 5, 2, 9, 4, and 6. I missed something up. 9. Here we go. 3, 7, and 8. 3, 7, and 8 is 18. However, 2 of those digits are half, and then I need a quarter here. A quartered digit. And so, this digit we know is odd. Therefore, these all have to be even.
Right. Well, at least their sum is even.
Yeah. I guess over here I also know the remainder. 1, 4, 5, 7, 2, and 3. 6, 9, and 8. Alright, well, wherever I put the 8, that's 4, which is fine. It's either the 3 or the 7, which is going to have a remainder of a half. Because the 8 divided by 2 is 4, which is even, which does not change the oddness of this triangle. So I can ignore the 8. Both 3 and 7, when divided by 2, is going to be an odd number and a half. Because it's either 1.5 or 3.5. But both of which are odd and a half. So when I finish that half, it becomes an even number as a result. And I guess another way of thinking about that is that there's going to have a half remaining, so I have to fill in that half. And when I fill in that half, it becomes an even number. Does that feel reasonable? Right. So this here is even, regardless of what happens, as long as I put a number that when I quarter it still has a half left over. Which means that I can do 2, which is just a half, or I can add 4 to that to be 6, and that's it. Those are my only options. Because it has to fill in that half after being quartered.
Right.
But 6, when it's quartered, is odd. Because it has it's 1 remainder 2. Or rather, 1 and 1/2. And that half goes to make these two even. And so this would be a 1, and odd is even, so this cannot be a 6, it must be a 2 then. Does that sound reasonable?
Maybe.
I think what I need is to pull up the notepad. Sudoku notepad. All right, so 3 plus 7 plus 8. My 8 is always halved because it's on around the edges. So it becomes a 4, which is even. So I can ignore it. My 3 or my 7 are going to be halved to either be 1.5 or 3.5. And that becomes odd and odd. And the 1 is odd and the 3 is odd. So in either case, I end up with odd plus and a half. And that is regardless of whether it's the 3 or the 7 that ends up on the sides with the 8. So then my quarter digit must have a remainder of 0.5. And so I can do, so what can I divide by 4 to give me a remainder of a half? Well, 2 divided by 4 is a half. 6 divided by 4 has a remainder of a half. Or 10 divided by 4 has a remainder of a half. And I could also think of it as 0 plus 2. 4 would be 1, or 0 times 4 plus 2, 1 times 4 plus 2, and 2 times 4 plus 2. Well, clearly I can't do 2 times 4 plus 2, which is 10, because that would not work. So I end up with just simply 0.5 and 1.5. Because when I divide 2 by a quarter, or excuse me, when I divide 2 by 4, I get 0.5. And when I divide 6 by 4, I get 1.5. With me so far?
Right.
Okay. And then 0.5 is even and a half, and 1.5 is odd and a half. Now, if I add that 1/2, if I take this half, which is in both of these, and I take that and I put it up here, then half and half is 1. And odd plus 1 becomes even. And if it's even, I can ignore it. Which means, regardless of what happens from these 3 cells, my options are 2, which is even, or 6, which results in an odd after being quartered and taking that half and putting it with the rest of everything. And because I want the whole triangle to be odd, I can't do odd and odd, because that would make the triangle even. So I have to do 2, which resulted in an even value, and even values get ignored, so the whole thing is odd. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means this must be a 2, and then we can do the same sort of analysis over here on this 6, 8, 9. Okay, so we have 6, 8, and 9. And our end result needs to become odd. Now, 8 is even, and 9 is odd. And that's in the middle. 6 divided by 2 is even, so it can be ignored. So it's either 8, which is divided by 2, which is even, which would be ignored. So my end result needs to be odd. The 6, excuse me, 6 divided by 2 is, 6 divided by 2 is 3, which is odd. The 6 divided by 2 is odd. Now, if I do 6 divided by 2 equals odd. And that always happens. So I either have an 8 in the middle, which is even, or a 9 in the middle, which is odd, which is plus my odd 6.5, plus my odd 6.5, and then I either add 9 divided by 2, or I add 8 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is even, and 9 divided by 2 is odd 0.5. No, it's even 0.5, because it would be 4.5. And so, the evens go away, and then odd plus odd ends up being even. So I need to add some odd digit after we have divided by 4. Whereas this one needs to be some digit that after dividing by 4 gives us an odd digit. Whereas with 8 plus our odd 6 divided by 2 plus the 9, which becomes even and a half, then I need a 0.5 to become which is going to pair with the other 0.5 to become a 1, which is odd, and odd is even. So then this needs to be odd 0.5. Did that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, what are the possibilities that when I divide by 4, I get odd 0.5? Well, something that popped, I don't know what that was. Anywho, 1.5 times 4 equals 4.5 is 6. And then I can just add 4 to that and get 10 for the next possibility. So the only option is 6. And just to do that analysis fully, plus 9 divided by 2 plus 6 divided by 4. And our end result is even plus odd plus even 0.5 plus odd 0.5. And we can ignore all of the evens. So we have 2 odds, and 2 odds make an even, so those get ignored. But I have a 0.5 and a 0.5, which become odd to make everything odd. And I only have 3/4 of a 6 in the triangle, so that's fine. Except I can't put a 6 on this tip because there's a 6 here. So that finishes the analysis. This ends up being a 9, a 6, and an 8 here. We can remove all of that. 6 divided by 2, and 8 divided by 2, plus question mark divided by 4. And 9 is just simply odd, plus 6 divided by 2 is odd, plus 8 divided by 2, which is even, plus, and that's odd, that's even, or excuse me, 2 odds make an even, plus another even is still even, so I need something to be odd after being divided by 4. So 1 times 4 is just simply 4. And 3 times 4 is 12, so the only option here is a 4. And now I don't have any duplicates, so it's fine. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, where do we go from here? I guess I should fill in the remainder over here. 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7. 8, 9, 6, and 4. And none of these are 7. This isn't 1 or 2. This isn't 5. These 2 aren't 3. And this isn't 3 or 7. 1, 2, 3, and 5 means this is the only 7. And I guess actually I just look at these 7s, and that places a 7 there. But 3 and 5 have to be over here. So that makes this 1 and this 5. Those aren't 1s anymore, so that's a 2. 3, 5, something. This is a 1. Silly me. But 2, 3, and 5 takes the 2 out. 2's out. Well, I can still do the remainder in here, because 2, 3, 8, and 7, those are all the same. Got a 5, 6 pair there. Those aren't 9s, and 1 and 4 is out from there. But there aren't any sets there. 9, 4, 6, 7, 8. Top doesn't have 2s, the bottom doesn't have 3s. Not seeing any groups that are gonna finish the puzzle there. I guess we can fill in this grid, because 8, 7, 9, 4, and 3. 6 off of that one. 9, 4, 2, 1, and 6. 7, 8 are out of the middle, which makes our middle digit odd. 6, 1, 7, 8, and 5. I did something wrong. 4 is still there in that row. And these 2 aren't 9, and this one's not a 4, which is going to be interesting. Okay, well, we've got a 3, 5 pair here, so this isn't 3 and 5. I don't see any 7, 8s. Yeah, 7, 8, and 7, 8. Takes it out of there. Okay. Now, if I look in this row, neither of those are 2s, and neither of those are 2s. So 2 has to be in one of these positions, so we can take 2s out of everywhere else. And, okay, so now we can look at what's going on here in this triangle. 3 or 5 in the middle is odd. My goal is to have an odd triangle. I either have odd plus 2 divided by 2, or I have odd plus 3 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 1 is odd. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, 1 is odd. But in either instance, I'm at even. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that as odd and odd. So now I consider... Oh, wait. I can't even put a 7 here. Because if I do, that is 3/4. And I can't do anything with halves to fill in that 3/4. So this must be an 8. Does that feel reasonable?
Maybe.
Because if I were to put a 7, you have a 3/4.
Then you lose the possibility for 7 in box 3. Yeah.
Well, that was after I took the 7s out over here.
Right.
So if I put a 7 here, then the 7s just go over on that side. But I'm pretty sure that because this is a quarter cell cage thingy, that it would be a remainder of 3/4. So I have 0.75, but these are halves, and I can't get I can't get either. Yeah, the only thing I can get from halves are 0.5s or point nothings. So that can't add to 0.75 or 3/4 to become a whole digit. So yeah, I'm going to say this has to be 8 and this has to be 7. Which is going to give us an 8 here. And that 8 plus 8 divided by 4 plus 8 divided by 4, well, that's 2, so that's even. So now I have to just consider the top. And I actually what I do is cut that and paste that here. Because this is my choice. I want my choice to be at the end. Then to add the top digit to finish the puzzle, I need to divide by 2 something and add an odd digit to get an odd result. Plus something divided by 2, and it's going to have a 0.5, but then that 0.5 is going to be to add with this 0.5, and that's going to end up with odd. And these two odds combine with even, so I'm already going to have to be odd, so it's going to have to be even point odd. Even 0.5. Be odd. And so, the only thing that I can do to divide by 2 and be odd, well, okay, so that would be 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And 5 times 2 is 10, so it's 2 or 6, which is a possibility. But to have even 0.5, well, that would be 0. 0.5 times 2 is 1. And then I just simply add 4, because then I have 2.5 times 2 is 5, and 9. Well, 9's not an option. So it's 1 or 5, or 2 and 6, which is all of the possibilities, so that doesn't help. But I can't have 2 2s. So this would have to be a 6 here. 6 divided by 2, which is odd. Okay, row 6. 2 3 pair?
2 3 pair in it. Mm-hmm.
That is definitely helpful. Although I don't know if it's conclusive. But I think we can take our 2 out, which is going to force a 2 here, because one of them had to be a 2. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a 1, 5, 6 triple across the top of box 6.
So that's 2, 3, and 5, and 3. And
3 is odd, 8 and 2 is even. So that's
yeah, but this is divided by 4,
right, but
which
still
is still even. And 2 divided by 2 is 1, so that's odd.
Oh,
and so this became even. So this is all even, so this needs to be odd after being divided by 2. 1 and 5 would have remainders, so it's a 6. 1, 5, 6, not a 6. And that aligns with our analysis over here, where we put the 3 in the middle. Excuse me, the 3 was over. No, it was the 2 on the bottom, which had to pair with the 6. There we go. Alright. Don't need all of that anymore. And I'll probably need it for this top one, which is the next thing to do. 7, 4, 3, 6, 9, and 8. And we end up with a 5 in the middle. And a 1 on the left, a 2 on the right. And, well, that has a half. And this does not. But 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 1 and 5 is 6, which is even. And so we have even and a half. So I need to fill in that half to make odd, and then I still need odd on top of that. So things that give me a half are 2 and 6. Well, it's not a 2, so it's a 6. And 6 divided by 4 is 1.5. And the 2 halves make 1. 1 and 1 is 2, which is even, plus 1, and to make odd, plus another odd to make go back to even, so that's an even triangle. This is 1 or 5, which is going to have a half, so then this has to be another odd digit. 1, 3, 5. Oh, there's stuff down here that makes this a 9. And 4, so this must be 7, 9 up here. Well, this is 3, 7. And it can't be a 7 because it's a 7, 9. So that's a 3, that's a 7, that's an 8, that's a 3. And the 4 takes that out. So we've got 1, 5, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 9 for a 4, 8 pair. 3s are removed from the top. I think our last clue is this one here. And, well, minimum is 8. So this can't be a 7. 9 and 1 is 10. 9 and 5 is 14. And then I can't add a 1 on top of that. So 9 and 1 and 3. Or 7 and 1 is 8, but I would need 4. So 7 and 5 is 12, which is 6. So that is 2 or 3. So that's upsetting. Is there anywhere else I can look?
Well, if you look at row 3, there's only one spot for a 7.
That's true. 7, 9. And 7 and 1 is 8. Divided by 2 is 4, and I don't have another 4 to put in there. So this ends up being a 5, that's 12, which is 6, so that's a 2. 4, 7, 3, 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 6, 5, 9, 4. Take the 4 out of there, that's not a 9. This is an 8, 6, 9, 2, 8, 4, 6, and 8, and that is correct. That was a tough puzzle. thinking
it
around.
started out boxes 1 and 9 just kind of fell right into place.
Yeah. Still thinking through these triangles here took a lot, and I wasn't sure I was doing it right the entire time. Because doing even plus odd and like doing like question mark. It's just like a mess. But I don't know. Glad I had the scratch paper to work it on. And if I just minimize it, it goes away. Oh, that's fancy. Okay, cool. Then I don't have to worry about that being there. Cool. Then, I mean, we've got 10 minutes left. Do we want to tackle one more puzzle, or do we want to call it here?
I don't care either way. It works for me.
Okay. Because those 4 were supposed to be the faster ones. Because this video is 23 minutes. Mark did that way faster than we did. But yeah, and then this next one is something we already solved. So that's a new do. Yeah, I think that was the last one we did yesterday.
Was there a second one? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, was it something that there was a second puzzle that...
I don't see 2 puzzles in the description here.
Okay.
So, yeah, all right. So, Fanfare by James Sinclair. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits along an arrow sum to the digit in that arrow's circle. Digits and cells separated by a white dot are consecutive. Digits and cells separated by a black dot have a 1:2 ratio. And that's it. Just arrows and crocky dots. Shouldn't be too difficult. Now, these are minimum 6 because you can do the standard and then yeah. Interesting that this box, all of these are arrows, so 9s have to go up top, so neither of those are 9s.
Well, I was looking at box 6.
Mm-hmm.
A 9 has to go across the top. Yeah. It can't go on an arrow or on a black croppy dot, which places the 9 in box 4.
Places an 8 above it as well.
Yeah.
Get 9s across the bottom of box 5. Okay. Where can I put an 8 in this row? It's not here or here. It can't be on any of the arrows. And it can't be where a 9 is. It's in one of those 2 positions. Which either places a 7 here or a 4 there. But that's not as useful, I don't think. And I guess what's more important is where's the 8 in this row? because that's more useful. You can't put it in this box because there's 8 here. You can't put it on the arrows, because if it was on the arrows, it would make it more than 8.
Is an 8, so yeah.
So the 8 has to be down here. So now where's the 8 in this row? Not in boxes 4 or 5, and it can't be on the arrows. So 8 and 4. So this is no longer at 6.
2, 3, or 4.
Oh,
right.
So this is 3 or 4. Because if this was a 6, you'd have to put one of these as being 2, 4.
The 6 has to be a double 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If this digit is red, then it's one of those 2 digits. Where is it in this box? Not across the row, and we know it's not a 9. So we know it has to show up on here. So this has to be smaller than this, because it shows up on the arrows. Except, this could be an 8. So that ruined everything.
But where does a 7 go in box? Well, I guess it could go on one of the arrows with a 1, and that'd be an 8.
Okay, is it possible that neither one is an 8? Well, if this is not an 8, then its digit goes here or here. Then it shows up on there. And if this is not an 8, then it has to go here. And then it shows up over here on those arrows. So one of them is an 8. It's not possible otherwise, because they can't both be on each other's arrows. Isn't super useful, I don't think. So we can't ask where 7 is in this row or this row. And there are enough ways to make 8 without doubling up the 4s. So knowing that this is a 4 isn't a guarantee that this is our 8. But knowing that one of these has to be an 8 means that 8 now has to be on the arrows down here, and this is 9. Wait, that's not a true statement at all. 8 has to be down here. But it can't be on this one, because this can't be a 9. Because this is max 7. But both of these could be 9. But one of them has to be. But if this is 9, that doesn't mean that this isn't, or is 9. You can put the 9 in one of those positions, and you've got an 8, 1 here. Both of these are minimum 4. Although I don't think this one can be because of this crocodile. Because to make it 4, you'd have to do 2 1s like that. Which you can't put another 2. But you can put 2 2s and a 1 and then go 3. Or you can do 2 1s, a 3, and a 2 there. For 5.
The other one can't be 4 either for the same reason. Because it would have to have 2 1s and a 2.
Right. And then this would have to be a 2. Okay. It doesn't feel useful. There's got to be something we're missing down here. Okay. If I think about this digit, if this was a 6, well, no, it just put 6 and 7 up there. And if this is a 7, you put a 7 here. And then it's just whatever that digit goes here. An 8 would be 4, 4. And then you put a 4 up here. Oh! Okay. If this is 4, 4, if this is an 8, that's 4, 4. And I have to put a 4 up here.
Right.
That automatically makes 6 not work.
Right.
And 7 means...
wouldn't work.
Because you couldn't put 4 in any of these positions. So 3 automatically doesn't work either. And now I have 4 digits.
Right.
Because I can't put 3, 4 in either of those positions.
Right.
So this is 7, and this is 8.
Right.
This is a 3. 7's in one of those positions, and I don't know how that got selected, but we don't have 3 or 4. How did that get selected again? So this is 1, 2, 5, and 6. 4, 8, 1, 2, 5, and 6. This isn't the 7. And 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Can't use
These
4.
Can't have 4s on them. This can't be a 4, so that can't be a 4. So then the 3s and the 5s come out. 3, 7, 9. Feel useful. And somehow I still have to have 4 up here. So that puts 4 here, and it can't go down to 3. It has to go up to 5. So that's not a 5 or a 3. This isn't a 4, so this isn't an 8. And it's not a 3, so this isn't a 6. Okay, 7 is ruled off of here. Now I need a 7 down here. This one's max 7, so 7 goes in one of those 2 positions. So this has to have an 8 or a 7 on it, because 8 and 7 belong in here. So this has to have 8 or 7 on it, which means it has to be a 9. One. So the 3 automatically comes off. And you can't put 4 or 6. Right. And now this, again, has to have a 7 or an 8 on it. So that means it's 8 or 9. It can't be an 8, so it must be a 9. So the 4 comes off. Then this can't be an 8. So now that's a 1-2 pair. And you've got a 7-8 pair. I'm pretty sure that logic works. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 3. And this is maximum 7.
So it's a 3-6 pair in the box.
4, 5. This isn't a 9. And this is maximum 7, and this is minimum 7.
Right.
So yeah, you can't even put a 6 on here, because that would make this 10. So this is 3, that's 6, and 3 and 5 would be 8, which clearly isn't possible. Seven, 1, 7, 1, 9, 5, 8. So none of these can be 2 and 6. 8, 9, 1, 3, 5, 7. And it's the other of 2 and 6.
Right.
Time.
Well, and in box 4, the 7 has to go on the arrow point because the 7 in the row has to go over there. So 7 can't go in the bottom.
Oh, because the 7s have to be... Okay. I missed that for some reason.
Well,
I missed the reason.
I was looking at row 5.
Yeah. So 5s. 2s.
Ones come out because of the 1-3 pair in the row.
And that makes that a 6, a 2, not a 6, not 2s. 4, 6, 3, 7, 9, 5, and 8, and 2 and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And this one's the 8. That's a 5, which
2, 2, 1.
It's 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah, 1, 1, 3.
Which this can't be a 3 because that's minimum 3. So this is a 2. And so this must be 3.
1,
3 here. Twos, ones ends up being a 1-2 pair. Left over. 7 are out. 5, 6, and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4 going across. None of those are 3s. That's not 4 or 9, and this isn't 9. 1, 2, 5, 6. Column 6.
4, 6, 7, 9. Then the 9 can't be on the arrow.
Right.
7 can't be on the arrow either.
Right, because that's minimum 3. And neither can 6, because that would, again, be 1, 2, which you've got a 2 here. So this is a 4. And minimum 4 means that this is now automatically 9. So this sums to 5, and it can't be a 2, 3 pair. So 1, 4, 2, or 8, and it's an 8 because it can't be 2. 7, 8, 1, I don't see a 3. I don't see 5, 4, 9. 4, 6, 7, 8. 2 are 8, 7, 4. I think that means this is 8. It is. 9.
Column 2, the 9 can be placed.
9. Oh, dirt. 7, 5. Not a 7. 4, 6 makes that a 7. This isn't a 5.
3, 4, 6 triple in the box.
Go. That a 5. 7, 1, 2. And these 2 aren't 4. None of them are 9. And these 2 aren't 8. 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's the only spot for an 8. And 6 has to be one of these 2, so 6 is out of there.
Well, row 2's 5, 6, 9.
6, 9. 1, 9. And these are also
2, 3,
8,
and
4,
7.
6, 2s. It's not particularly 2, 3, 7.
2 through 7,
triple. 5 and 6. 9s, 9s, 9s. Helpful. One, 6, 2, 5. Is that useful?
Yeah. The center one, the can't be 2-5, because if that's 2-5, then going up has to be a 9, and then the next two would both be 3s.
Okay. So this is
So
1
that's
and
1 and
6.
6.
2, 3, 9, 5. 9. 3's out. 2 and 5. 7 and 2. 3, 7, 3. 4, 1, 6. 4, 2, 1, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 4. And it's done. Cool. And a little bit late, but that's alright. That was actually really fast. That was faster, because that was, I mean, Simon did that video in 37 minutes, but, I mean, we did it pretty quickly. Forgot to remove that bookmark. This bookmark. Yeah, so, yeah. That was a good puzzle.
Mr. Ballin.
Say again?
I said, oh, that's Mr. Ballin.
Somewhere. Yeah,
Last
this one.
row there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I like watching him. His stories are fun. Or not, sometimes.
I mean, that one's top 3 scariest unwanted guests, Halloween Scarathon.
Well, he also does true crime ones, so sometimes those are not fun.
Yeah. Don't see any of his content, so. Yeah. Alright, well, that is the end of doing Sudoku. Any end stream conversation?
No, I'm just sleepy.
It is the
I
time
need to
of
go
nap.
get.
Alright. So, anyone who watched, thank you for watching, but that is the end of the stream. When we